Okay, let's get the stream started. Hello everyone. Let's run the tests real quick since oops. Yeah. I'm gonna run the Cypress tests because they're visual and we can watch them. I can show you where I've gotten to. So I did some more work in the meantime, in the downtime between videos. I'm going to run all specs. So here we see Cypress running tests, popping open every page and typing stuff in and asserting that the right thing happens after you do that. So this I punted on doing the tests for a while I was doing the conversion because they were hard to... It was hard to convert the views and the tests at the same time, and the tests I was kind of tripping over them, getting in the way. So I held off on that, but since the last video, since the last stream, I went ahead and did tests, got them up to speed. All except for there's 4 failing tests, and they are the 4 that I need to work on today. Go figure. So I'm just running them so you can kind of see what Cypress looks like and what the app looks like, and that was it. Alright. One sec. I'm just getting my chat ready, okay? Great. Yeah, okay. So we got a few tests that didn't pass. They're mostly clustered around what? They're clustered around the Google the Google Sheets importing, which is called a source in Paperize lingo. So that's going to be both pasting in a link to pull from or browsing your sheets. And then, let's see, also the image library itself. I didn't touch the image library at all, so it's still dead from before. But I expect to be able to kind of knock this out. I'm going to try to stream for about an hour and make these final conversions. Every other test passed. And if you see, I've got 45 tests passing, about 55 seconds total run. The test seems like they're taking about a second per test, which is a little slow, but given that there's a whole browser running here, you know, for an integration test, it's pretty fast, frankly. So that's fine. Getting low kilobytes per second on my stream, so worried that might be an issue. And I'm also streaming, I'm also playing music for the first time while I broadcast. I see that a lot of people do. It helps not have to talk the whole time, because it's hard to talk the whole time when you're programming, unlike when you're playing live streaming video games. It's a little easier to just chatter the whole time between interesting things on screen. You have to actually think while you're programming, so it can be a little harder. Anyway, let's get started. Let me clear out my editor is so full of things. Which, let's see, it's not 4, 5. Yeah, source importing spec. Okay, so it's the source importing spec that we care about. I'm going to close all my other tabs on the right there. And then just open up a source manager component. Alright, let's, yeah, so I'm pretty sure none of this works. So I'm just going to set an only on the first test inside of the importing sources spec, and then I'll head back over to Cypress and reload, and it will see that only, and only run that one test. And sure enough, that's what happened. So this test was closes when I cancel, so that was just proving that I could make the modal hide the dialog, and I can't because Zurb closes dialogs a different way than Vuetify does. So actually, there's a modal that didn't even open. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Right. So when you click paste a link here, yeah, it's getting dark. This is another thing I love about Cypress is you can actually interact with the code, with the running app at the end of the test. It's like actually booted up and running in your browser, and that's really cool. So yeah, when you click to open the paste a link modal, it like goes into modal mode, but it's probably got no content or something. So that's what we're seeing. All right, and this is inside probably the source manager component. Let's go find that out. Yeah, paste a link is right here. So there we go. Actually, this is rigged up. Oh, hold on. Let me open up my console inside the tests. I'm gonna refresh it just to make sure. No errors. Yeah, so no errors got thrown. So this is fine. Everything's fine. I just kind of haven't completed the work here. So I did seal this up. We've got a button that when you click it, it sets show source paste dialog to true, and the V model for this dialog is show source paste dialog. So that literally is just a boolean that says whether to show or not. That's the whole V model for dialogs. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and then I've got a source paste form, which is its own component. Another thing, this is a thing I love about Vue, is just the easy breakup of logic and everything. Yeah, and I get in here and look, I see I've got a lot of old Zurb stuff, Zurb grid stuff. Pardon me, my voice is leaving me. I've been a little sick as the fall comes on. Yeah, so I'm seeing, I've actually got a vdialog inside the source paste form, but there's a vdialog out here. So I don't really need to manage it inside here. That was probably corrupt. So I'm going to toss that. Do I even need a form? I don't know, but I'll at least make it a V form. Here comes some grid stuff. Okay, so what you need, Vuetify dialogs are see-through. So you usually put a card inside of them. And cards get titles. So I'm going to pull a title up. I'm kind of straying here. I probably should just fix the test, first of all. But I'm wondering if I even need that test. We'll see. Alright, so there's a title. There's text inside of a V card. I'm just going to set that to be a template. Show spinner. So this is code. This is if the spinner should be shown. So like when you're waiting on Google, you show a spinner, obviously. And then if you're not waiting on Google, then you'll probably show what you have. That's weird. Okay. And then we have error. If there's an error with pasting, yes, then show it. That's fine. It's probably fine. There's a label and an input. We'll be fixing that with a better label and input from Vuetify, and I'll clean up this little bit here pretty quickly when I get to that. And then here's the old school close button, which we probably won't. We won't use this anymore at all. Wait, how did it work? It calls close modal, and close modal does the old school closing thing. So I'm just going to toss this method, don't need it anymore. And I'm going to toss this. You should put an X in the corner of the dialog. So now we should at least see the dialog. Oh, we still don't see the dialog. How strange. Let me refresh again. There it is. Yeah, so now we're seeing the modal, and all the formatting is like gone from it. So we got a cancel button and an import button. Cancel would like to close. It tried to call close modal, but that failed because I just removed it. And import actually worked. It didn't work because I didn't put anything. I didn't paste anything in. Oh yeah, there it is. There's the input. So yeah, so it's all ugly because I've yanked the formatting off of it, but it will all become pretty very quickly. Okay, let me jump back to the test itself. So the test wants to see that I can close it when I cancel. Is that a thing? So what was I doing? I was looking for the alert button. I click the button that has an alert class, and then I hope that my form is not visible. I don't know if that is the best way to do this or not. Probably not. So what I'm going to do is just get a button that contains cancel. And click that. And that seems more semantic. Get a button that contains cancel and click it. That's like pretty usable. When I do that, I should not see the... What's the title of this thing? Import a Google Sheet. So I'm just going to take that string and say I shouldn't see that. Anything that contains import a Google Sheet should not be visible after clicking cancel. Okay, I like that. So this is going to automate the thing I just did where I clicked cancel and I got this error. I don't want to do that manually. I want my test to actually do that and produce the error. It didn't do that. It didn't find... Wait, it's still doing this get. Why is it doing that? Did I fail to save something? Oh, it's doing this stuff up here actually. I see. It's saying I was testing that a div. Yeah, I was testing that the old way that Zurb showed modals. You know, find that element, make sure it's visible. That's a little jank. Let's just do the same thing that I did in there. Import a Google Sheet should be visible. I don't even need should be visible. I can just remove that because Cypress will balk if it's not visible. Great. So now it failed for a different reason. It failed because it did not find any content containing the word cancel. And it's probably because cancel is not in a button. Nope, it's in a link. It's in a link with an alert. So Zurb used links with the button class, and Vuetify uses vButton, which makes an actual button. So I replaced that, and that should work. Nah, it should not work. It should fail the way I expect. Boom, it failed beautifully. Yeah, so there's a button here now, much prettier already. And it generates errors when you click it. Just like that. How do you close modals, dialogs? The way that I've been doing it. Maybe you can do it from inside the dialog pretty easily with something with this. I'm not sure, but what I've been doing is emitting an event. So I'll emit close dialog. And then from outside the dialog, yeah, the source paste form. So I'll actually listen to close dialog. And when that happens, I'll do this thing. I'll set the vModel to false. I now expect this test to pass. Did not pass. Gonna refresh it again. I feel like I'm having caching issues here. Did pass. Yay! So it closed again. So we paste a link, opens it, and then cancel closes it. This this modal's huge and really isn't going to need to be, so I'm going to go ahead set a max width 500 on it just for looks. And yeah, great. That simple test now passes. All right, let's see if this next one, errors when an ID can't be parsed. Right, so this is not a valid Google Sheet ID. So it's supposed to cause trouble when I try to import that. And indeed it would. But I think it's failing to click import. So, right, so I've got a submit paste helper function here. Let's jump back up to that. Yeah, so this thing is all janked up now. I'm getting the input the old way. typing into it whatever was asked to be pasted. That's still working because I haven't touched the input yet, but the button to the button to submit it is now busted. Oh yeah, because it can't get the form the same way it used to. That's no problem. What do I want to do? Can I? I may just look for the button with a value of import. Let's see what happens. Get button. Contains import. Click. Let's try that. It's not a button. Right. Let's make it a button. Doesn't need this type submit anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could have that submit value. Let's just do the same thing. Import source via paste. Oh, this is weird, this value import. That's not how we do it. It's actually text in the button. Yay. Yay, we got what we wanted. It's hard to see still, but when you paste a Google Sheets link, and that one's been pasted, or yeah, typed it in, and then when you hit import, you get this error. No Google Sheet ID detected in ABC 123 or because it's not a Google Sheet ID. Code is smart enough to understand a well-formed Sheets ID. Great. I'm just sticking to the tests, like when you're actually doing TDD or you're actually using your previously driven tests. It's pretty cool to just be able to go through and just dumbly get them passing without kind of thinking about what you're doing too much. Oh, cool. That one works. So the spinner is already appearing correctly. So this one was kind of interesting, stubbed up. Like I stubbed out the get client call from inside my, I don't know. I stubbed out a lot of stuff inside the internal code there. And basically never call back. So the promise is just open. The promise never resolves. Normally this is like the response you'll get from Google. And you submit whatever you want, this empty thing, and force the API calls to just never complete, to start but never complete. Then you should be left in the loading state, right? The spinning state, and there it is. There's the spinner. Test is green. Love it. Head on to errors when Google Sheet can't be fetched. I bet this one will work too. Yep, that one works too. This is when you actually tried to look for that. The test didn't actually hit Google. It just short-circuited and sent back the error that Google would send back. So our tests can run nice and fast and know they do the right thing when Google fails instead of needing Google to fail to actually verify that. It's very nice. Okay, move the only down to the next one. All right, now when I submit something valid, right? So, all right. So for one thing, it should close. This test is busted. Yeah, this should be contains Google Sheet import or whatever. What was it? Had it all wrong. Oh gosh. Import a Google Sheet. Should not be visible. Alright. This test is gonna die. Almost. Okay. The mocked ID. Alright, so I never found this modal source paste form. No surprise there. That's this. That's in the before each. So I got this far before failing, so. I'm trying to actually already submit here, so. I'm going to go back and steal the way I submitted in the previous one. Is that it? No. Oh, I had this submit paste. That's what it is. Get button contains import. Click, yeah. That nastiness. It's not really nasty. I mean, it could be better. Code could always be better. Test code in particularly could always be better. DOM manipulation code could always be better. Just gonna deal with it for now. Okay, well, this is an ugly modal, but it's passing. So we expected, yeah. So that was testing that the overlay closed after an import, a successful import happened, and it did happen. All right, now let's see. I see I have the new source selected. So I was looking for this Love Letter Revisited title. Should find it, but let's just confirm the test works. Yep, that works. Now come down here by browsing. Yep, so we're going to handle the browsing bit now. Oh, this is curious. I have 2 before eaches? That seems incorrect. How much you want to bet that causes a problem? Didn't even get that far, so I was looking for a dot button class with set of source. Right, set of source. So this is just setup code that wasn't right. If I just change it to button, it might just work. I don't know why spacing is all weird on these. Something's going on. Sure, it's out of my pay grade. Okay. Right, so this time I tried to click the other button, Browse Google Sheets. Oh, wow, that means I'm done with the paste to link screen. And this one's ugly, too. I gotta pretty up all these things, but it's fine. Okay, so you click Browse Google Sheets, and nothing happens, is what I'm understanding. Or, you know, a modal opens, but there's nothing in it, or something like that. So we're going to go back to the outer component, the source manager, and see what it does. Yeah, here's the Browse Google Sheets button. This dialog, his vModel gets set to true via the click on that button. And that should show the Source Explorer component, which I don't believe I've touched. Yep, and here we are. Once again, we've got a vDialog that we don't need. Because it's outside of the manager, so yeah, and all these verbose grid declarations. Oh man, I'm so happy to see them go. Or see them get tidied up, I should say. Alright, vcard title, headline, vcard text. Here's the spinner. If it's being shown, show it. Very straightforward. I can clean that up even further. Let's just put the if inside the spinner. Easy enough. So yeah, it either shows the spinner or it shows everything else. Is that how the source paste form was? Yes. Actually, I'm going to move the VF inside the spinner here as well, because that's a cool pattern. Great. Okay, here's the spinner. I've got this close button again that won't do anything. Let's just see what we got now that I've got a V card in there. Yeah, much better. In that we actually see it. Let's go ahead and shrink that V dialog down because it's just so ugly when it's so big. Okay, this looks like it's getting somewhere. And this is just has a title and call to action, so this is a simple test. But that's why you have simple tests, because if they're failing, you know you've got failures. So all I'm trying to do is check that Browse Your Google Sheets is on the screen, and that there's a button that says Fetch Sheet Listing. And what's failing is this... you click the button and then, yeah. Right. I try to show, again, I'm trying to force the dialog to be visible, but I'm just going to look for Browse Your Google Sheets. That should get us through that. And that's just in the before, so that's not even the actual test. There we go. And when you get into the tests proper, this thing fails. Same thing. It's trying to scope all of the calls to this modal, which is frankly pretty good practice. I'm just not super set up for it. And you know, this sprint is really to get the front end ported. The whole Zurb to Vuetify thing is hard enough. So I'm not super worried, again, about my tests being super legit right now. Probably going to axe that whole scoping statement altogether, and we're going to say... I'm actually just going to drop this from the before each, because I'm doing it in this, has a title one. In the call to action, I'm going to get a button that should contain sheet listing. Alright. That's going to fail because there's not a button. Let's let it fail first. It's always nice to make sure your test is doing something by seeing it fail. Yep. It's not finding any buttons that contain fetch sheet listing. So here's fetch sheet listing. Why is this down this line? A little ugly, but it's fine. Alright, so I only see the fetch sheet listing if remote sources length is 0. I'm not sure. I actually may revise that. Oh no. I fixed that already. This is an old bug. Yeah, so I basically have two buttons. One that says fetch sheet listing, one that says refresh sheet listing. Based on whether it's already here or not. I'm going to go ahead and say this is another one of those things that I don't need to really concern myself with right now. Yeah, that test passes now. I'm going to skip this track because it's a little too much. Alright, we're looking good. Fetching sources the first time. Hides the call to action and shows a spinner. Yeah. Let's get a look at that spinner again. Yeah. Actually, while I'm going to take a quick side quest here and see if there's a spinner in... Nope. Oh, progress. There's a progress component. Progress circular. Progress linear. Yep. These... Oh, yeah, these things exist. Oh man. Oh man, I kind of love it. That could work too, but... Oh, I should really replace the plugin I brought in for this with Vuetify. And I will. When will I? Will I now? What is the code for this? Oh, that's all there is to it, huh? Fine, let's test it. Those are my dogs. I apologize. Mark up the code that I just got. It only needs to be shown if show spinner is there. Yeah, you know. Yeah. That's good. That's good. And sure I can. I'll make it prettier later, but I'm going to axe the library today. Actually, let's see how many times I use the spinner element. In the image manager, and the source explorer, the source paste form. That's it. Everything I'm doing today uses the spinner and nothing else. So yeah, we'll start replacing that every time I see it. And here's another place in the previous file we worked in. Great. And we can remove the library as well. Remove the library as well. Remove the component. Oh my god, I just love deleting code. Don't need it. Don't need it anymore. Hope my dogs aren't too distracting for everyone. Just gonna ignore them. Great. Did not expect to throw away yet another library, but my package.json is shrinking every session. Okay. That was cool. Alright, now let's see that the spinner hides again appropriately. Yep. Yep, it does indeed hide again, and this test does... Oh no, this test doesn't work. Look at that, talking to Google. Should be seen. Why, this last test shouldn't have worked either. I think I should have broken this test. Maybe I did and didn't notice. There we go. Yeah, it's totally broken. Because that message talking to Google isn't there. And I think that's fine. I think it should be there. So we're going to put it back there. That's the other form. And look at this, now that my spinner is in fact 3 lines, or 2 lines of code. 2 lines of component, maybe it should be in a custom component, but who knows. Seems a little weird. That works. Contains talking to Google. Says the element's not visible, but... Looks visible to me. Oh well. Alright, let's see if hiding the spinner is still working. Still working. Okay. This test is mostly like stubbing out the requests. Nice. Awesome. Okay, we've got an error over here. We also have an error in the test. Well, the sources came back, so... So again, I'm doing this scoping to the modal thing. And I'm just going to remove that on both counts. So this is checking that I'm adding new sources and refreshing existing sources. They're both on that list. Toss it in there and refresh it. Both tests passed, but I'm getting a failure. I'm not sure that... Oh, it's coming from component card. Why is that happening? I feel like I've got something going on that's like unrelated to the test. Let's find out. I'm just gonna keep going and see if the rest of these... Wow, I've got a lot of tests on this one. Tests are good. Refetching sources. Yeah, that's working. No sources found with ID love letter. Who's doing that? Let me look at my JSON fixtures for sources. I do have one with an ID love letter, so... A little surprised by that. Anyway. I'm gonna ignore that error still. This test works. Actually, these tests are all pretty well written. They may actually survive the Vuetify changeover. I'm just going to hit that whole describe block and see what happens. Pass. Pass, pass. Fail. The last test does some janky stuff. Yep. Does the whole within thing. I probably should, though. What the hell? Put a Source Explorer class on this thing and let them get something much easier. Try that. Oh, I think I didn't save the... Oh, I saved them. Just gonna refresh. I think my... Yeah. Yeah, that all worked. That all worked. Great. Lastly, refreshing the active source. Is that lastly? That is lastly. See how that one runs. It fails because it's looking for set of source. Button set of source. There we go. And then it gets into the test proper and it says, where's my source editor button? Source editor. Oh, there is no source editor. I would call it manager, yeah. Wait, really? Let's search for source editor in the whole thing. Oh. I call it source panel. There it is. Okay, so that should be findable. Oh, it's the dot button that's the problem. I feel like I've already done this, but it's that button right there, and it's lowercase edit because it's an icon. Maybe I fixed it. Let's see. Did fix it. I'm gonna pop that test open and make sure I like what it was looking like. Clicks the edit button, pops this thing open, you click refresh, and then stub fires, and it comes back and changes. So before it was it's love letter revisited, and then the stub I send it changes it to love letter v2, and it appears, and that shows that it's working. Okay, we're good. We just went through every individual test and fixed them. I'm gonna go back and run all of the tests from this suite, because I would bet that one of the later fixes broke one of the earlier tests. It's just how it goes. But I'll now have the full ability to fix it all. Pardon my squeaky chair. I know it's an issue I need to fix. So aside from the river of blood in my console over here, don't worry, it's the same one over and over again. I have to figure out what's going on there. I'll get an edit game. I wonder... It's probably like loading too many... I don't know what it's doing. I think it's loading a fixture that has a source set, and then that source gets yanked or something. So I've got like tests colliding with each other. Okay. Let me look at these things again and make sure I didn't leave. Like this. the list of sources, you know. Oh, no, it actually hit Google. Don't do that. That must have failed, yeah. It's in test mode, nice. One of these tests had the thing. Wow, I lost my train of thought. I'm actually going to commit this because I like what I've gotten through here. Oh, pull the only out. And pretty much all the changes are white space and DOM string changes, as to be expected. Still exercising the important bits of the code via the interface, proving that the interface kind of reacts the way we want it to. And you see a lovely synergy, not synergy, but anyway, the source importing spec is the only spec that changed, and 3 source-related components got changed, and they got modernized. Yeah. I'm just going to say Vuetify the source Vuetify source management. Boom. Does that leave me with... I'm going to run all the tests again. Does that leave me with just the image editor? I don't think I'm going to do the image editor today, because I'm going to take the opportunity to change it? I don't know. Let's see. It needs changing, I'll put it that way. Yeah, I've got some error with my routing or something. The fixtures, something's relying on something that's not there. It's happening in a lot of places. I don't know, these tests used to be faster. I think they were faster under Zurb. Which is not what I expected to find. We can do a side-by-side, but I'm done. Yep, and there's the image library failing. Yeah, we fixed everything about the image library. This job is almost done. Very cool. Very cool. All right. I think I might just call it a day on the stream for this, because it was pretty self-contained, and I tried a lot of stuff that I want to review before I keep streaming, like this music. So yeah, I'm gonna call it. Thanks again for hanging out with me today. I love live streaming for you. I love live coding. It's all for you. If you like this and want to see more of it, check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Paperize. I should start showing you that when I talk about that. Yeah, there's my Patreon. And if you want to see more like this, you can head over here and become a patron. You can also just follow me if you want to keep up. Don't have money. It's fine. Eventually, this Paperize itself will exist as an application that you can use, and my streams will probably get much more exciting then, because they'll be full of visual, awesome stuff that turns into tabletop games. For now, we're still just slinging code around, but we're close. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next stream. Have a great weekend.